Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be my June beauty roundup, where I share all of my thoughts on everything new that I tried throughout the month of June, the good, the bad, the mediocre. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So first up, I received one of the most exciting PR packages ever to darken my doorstep or brighten my doorstep, as this did, from OPI. This was my exact face when I opened this. So these are OPI's reformulated Infinite Shine formula, which I have never been a fan of. I love OPI, you know, I wear it in every single video. I love painting my own nails. I change them constantly, and all I own really are OPI nail varnishes. So I love their lacquer formula, but I've never really been a fan of their Infinite Shine. I find it doesn't wear as well. I didn't like the finish so much, and I feel like it sort of fades or chips a lot quicker than their lacquer formula. So the Infinite Shine is like a two-step process. You have your color and then a top coat. It's like you can't just do one, otherwise it just will not stay on your nails at all. So that's how the Infinite Shine works. So they have reformulated it and it is so much better. I've been wearing, I've tried about 5 shades so far. I'm working my way through. Some of these are a bit scary, okay? One is green, I know. So yeah, I'm working my way through them all. I've tried, I think, 4 shades so far. And the one I have on today is Livin' La Vida Mocha, which is this gorgeous sort of very caramelly brown. There she is in the bottle. Absolutely gorgeous, and the formula is wildly improved. It's so long wearing now, and with the top coat for the system, it's supposed to be like a gel-like shine, and it definitely gives me that really high shine that actually really lasts as well. The shine does not fade away very quickly. I wore the orange from this set for like a week and my nails actually started growing out. Like, it was wearing so well. There was not a single chip or fade anywhere, but there was, like, you know, new nail showing through. That's how long and how well it wore, that my nail was growing before they were fading. So amazing, vastly improved formula. I'm really happy with them. They last incredibly and the shine is amazing. I really love those. So thank you so much for OPI for spoiling me with all these new nail varnishes to try. I love them. I can't get enough. Something else that's non-makeup-y that I wanted to put you guys onto this month is this dress from Free People. I didn't bring it down because it's always awkward to sort of hold clothes up, but I will insert a picture of it on a model so you can see the full thing. I was basically living in this dress. I picked up the darker blue shade first and I took that on holiday with me, not really knowing, you know, how I'd feel about it, whether it would be comfortable to wear, whether it would stay up because it is strapless. And the second I put this on, I never wanted to wear another dress on holiday. It's so nice, and there's quite a bit of material on the bottom, but it's so light and lovely and cool to wear, and never got hot. Wasn't even really wearing a bra under here. It's got a bit of support to the top, so you don't really need a bra. Of course you can wear one if you need to, but you didn't have to at all. It gave you a little bit of support for the ladies, and it was so flattering, so versatile. You could have easily worn this, you know, on a day to the beach. You could wear this out at night on a walk to the shops, wherever you want. It's going to be comfortable. It never slipped down one single time on me. I never had to touch it or worry about it. It was just so flattering. You know, you can wear it to dinner where you're going to leave with, you know, a 9-month pregnant belly because you've just eaten so many carbs and you won't be able to tell. Okay, it's so flattering, so comfortable, so easy to wear, perfect for any occasion. As soon as I got home, I ordered another color because I love it. And I wouldn't be mad at having a third. So I would highly recommend this dress, especially if you're going traveling, if you're going on holiday, because you will only need this dress. You can pack very, very lightly and it covers all bases. Next up, I was sent, I think this came not from Supergoop, this came from Space NK, who sent me a a package of all different products, and this is the Supergoop Glow Screen Golden Hour. So this is SPF 30 but with a bit of a golden tint. I love these types of products in summer. It's a 2-for-1, and this is so beautiful. I love the original Glow Screen, so I know I like this product, but this has just a tiny hint of a sort of bronziness, so it really gives you a bit of bronzy glow to your skin. It matches up face and body, but very, very lightly, and it just gives you that SPF 30 all at the same time and that gorgeous glow. I love the finish of the Glow Screen. It's so pretty, never greasy, and it's not sort of giving you really coverage. It's just a little hint of a tint, if you know what I'm saying. So you don't have to do too much. You can just literally do a bit of this, maybe some mascara and a tinted lip balm, and you'll be good to go. And you can then really easily reapply this throughout the day. This is just going to live now in my handbag for the rest of the summer. It's gorgeous, and it feels so light and skincare. It just feels like a normal SPF, but it's got some extra little help and boosts in there as well. Love it. Next up, let's talk about some of the Fenty summer products that I picked up. I picked up 2 shades of the blush and 1 gloss. Let's get the gloss out of the way first, because I don't like this. This is one of the Gloss Bomb, the oils, the lip oils that they came out with that are very, very glittery. It's not that I don't like this formula. It does actually feel very nice and oily, and I like the sort of texture and consistency of it, and it feels very nice on the lips. The color is just not for me. It's very metallic. That's number one. It's not sort of oily, it's very glittery, and it looks very metallic on the lips and a little bizarre. I just don't think this finish and color is that flattering on me. This is the shade Copper Cookie, and I just didn't like this on me at all. I tried it on and I will never be wearing it again. But that's not to say the formula is bad. That color is odd, and it just did not flatter me at all. So that was a fail. The blushes I really like. They have not beaten out the Rare Beauty blushes, however. And I think the reason I prefer the Rare Beauty is that they just had a very limited selection of shades in this formula. I think the packaging is gorgeous. I really love that, and I love the finish of these. This is the shade Juicy Peach. I tried 2 different shades. They're just, all 3 of the shades they released are so similar to each other, so it's like, you know, you just pick the shade that works for your skin tone, but there's no other options. There's no different shades or different colors to play around with, whereas Rare Beauty have much more variation as far as the shades available. So I do think I prefer the Rare Beauty. I think the Rare Beauty is a little smoother and maybe more finely milled when it comes to the shimmer as well. So I like this. I wore it a couple of times. I can't see it getting a lot of use, just because in the sort of glowy, shimmery blush category, I think I would prefer the Rare Beauty. I would prefer many other formulas over this one, so I don't think it's going to get a lot of use. In order for me to have really loved it, I needed some more exciting colors and just some variation among the colors that were on offer. But I liked it. I think the shade is pretty, but it's got a lot of competition for glowy blushes because they're what I live for, and it just doesn't stand out color wise or formula wise among many others that I already own. You know, not bad, just not amazing, not life-changing. You know, a very different kettle of fish from the blush realm. Let's go with that. These new Armani Luminous Silk cheek tints, which I was very late to the game on because they're a liquid blush, and I wasn't really sure. If you saw my Will I Buy It when I was kind of mulling these over, I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell from the description what the finish was going to be like, and I thought it was a bit too matte, but it actually turned out to be perfect. So they gifted me some shades of this to try, and I'm so glad they did, because I think this is quite a special liquid blush formula. Very easy to work with, very light, really versatile, feels lovely, has quite a serumy I feel like is the wrong word. When I hear serum in cheek products, it puts me off because it gives me negative connotations. I'm not sure what it conjures up, maybe like slimy or greasy. This is more silicone-y, kind of silky. Let's go with silky, very silky. Very smooth, delightful on the cheeks, a gorgeous light little bit of luminosity, nothing crazy, very easy to use, and they wear delightfully. And these shades are gorgeous. This is the shade 50.5 and is my favorite, as you would have guessed. It's beautiful. I found them very easy to use, and they just are so natural and they melt into the skin so seamlessly. I love them. I find them quite different and quite special and very easy to travel with as well. These will definitely be traveling with me next time I go away for sure. Next up, we've got this new little Warm Essentials palette from Dior. Bear with, there we go, she's open. I like this. I will say it hasn't got a lot of use. I'm starved, as I said in my review, I'm starved of these sort of peachy eyeshadow palettes. I haven't had a really solid, exciting one since Charlotte Tilbury's Instant Eye Look Pillow Talk, the larger palettes that she used to make. I want a new one of those Charlotte Tilbury, in those Charlotte Tilbury shades. That's what I need. I need it. This palette is beautiful. It has such pretty shades, but you know, Dior just sort of always leaves me a little lacking with the impact. The colours and the colour story, I feel like they always nail it, and some of these are just stunning, really pretty colours, but everything is a little muted, a little understated, and I'm just always feeling a little like I'm lacking some intensity. I'm lacking some impact from particularly their metallics. Everything is just softer and prettier, and I'm sometimes in the mood for that, don't get me wrong, and I'm really enjoying the color story, but I know that I'm not reaching for it that much, just because I want a bit more than those palettes can give me. But it's so beautiful, very flattering, gorgeous formulas, very easy to work with. Color story is chef's kiss, but I just know I won't use it that much because I want Lisa Eldridge finishes, I want Pat McGrath finishes, I want Natasha Denona finishes, and Dior finishes are just not quite enough, you know? Next up, Rephr came out with 2 new prototypes. So these are synthetic hair prototypes, and they are an improvement, a next step in their exploration of their synthetic brushes. And these 2 brushes are amazing. They are so much softer than the previous versions. So they have a foundation brush B04 and a concealer brush B05. I've been using these for about a week now, every time I do foundation and concealer, and they're so soft and pleasant to use. The shape of this foundation brush is perfect for me. It's the perfect size and shape for foundation, but because of the slant as well, it's absolutely perfect for cream contour or cream bronzer. I love using it for that. It's so soft, so much softer than their previous synthetic hairs, and I just absolutely love them. They've nailed these. They are, as long as they're still stock available, currently in the concept store, so you can get the bundle for an incredible deal, and just in exchange for your thoughts and opinions on them. But I think these are amazing. This is my favorite ever synthetic hair foundation brush. I absolutely love it. It's perfect. The shape, the size, the density, even though I've been using this to death, somehow it looks fairly clean if you don't look too closely as well. So I like the color, the handles, everything. They're perfect. This is the win for me. They've got it just right with the density and the softness and the size and the shape. Really love those. Next, let's talk about these new Lancome cheek products. So we had bronzers and highlighters from Lancome. I have reviewed these if you want to see them in action on my cheeks. I love the packaging. It's gorgeous. It does feel lighter weight, as I said in my review. I don't love either of these products. The highlighter is just not my cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little too metallic, a little too much. You see, for me, I like something a bit more subtle, a bit more glowy than metallic. And this is just, I have to use it very much with caution, carefully, go easy. That's just not my vibe. I like to go ham with my makeup. I like to build up as opposed to having to be careful, because I'm heavy-handed lady, and this is a little scary to use because it is quite intense and it's just not what I expected. I thought it was going to be very subtle and soft and glowy, and it's just much more impactful than I expected, and then is my personal preference. It's a beautiful highlighter, it's just not the type of highlighter that I personally prefer. And it's a similar story when it comes to the bronzer. The bronzer is beautiful. Again, the embossing on here is gorgeous. It's so silky and smooth. It really is a beautiful bronzer. However, it is a very matte bronzer, and you guys know I just prefer a bit of luminosity. So it's not to say I don't like this bronzer. I've applied it over a wet hand, so that's why it looks hideous like that. It's not the bronzer's fault. I wiped my hand with a cleansing wipe and then I put this straight on top. Okay, so yes, I am that stupid, but it's made it look a little patchy, but it isn't the bronzer's fault. It's my fault because I'm stupid. But it is so natural and soft and silky. It is quite pigmented as well, so you do have to use a bit of a lighter hand. Again, not typically my preference. And I do find that I prefer the YSL as far as a matte bronzer to that one, just because the undertone is that bit more neutral. This is quite warm of a shade, and I just do prefer that sort of buildable amount of pigmentation as opposed to being very pigmented off the bat. So they're both nice products that I like, but neither of them sort of really tick my boxes as far as what I personally look for. I like something a bit more luminous. I like something a bit more neutral when it comes to a bronzer. With the highlighter, I like something a bit less metallic and something a bit finer as opposed to what we got here. So both good products, just not my style. Next up, let's talk about this RMS Hydra setting powder. So they gifted me the shade medium. I have used this today all over. I used it the first couple of times under my eyes, and it does a great job actually under the eyes. No creasing, looked flawless, very smooth, got a bit of luminosity to it. So I think it looked beautiful under my eyes, but I didn't love it under my eyes because I could feel it a bit more than I can my Givenchy Prisma Libre or the Pat McGrath. So I didn't love it so much under the eyes. So then I decided to give it a try all over because it just felt slightly heavier than those other powders that I like under my eyes. So I decided to give it a try all over, which isn't something I typically like to do. You guys know I'm not a setting with powder girly. That's just not for me. And the main reason being that I just like maximum luminosity. So the vast majority of powders are going to take luminosity away from me. And how dare you? I don't want you to. I want it all staying on my face. But I did, for the purpose of science, try this all over the face, and it is beautiful. This is my favorite ever full face setting powder I've ever tried. I used it today over the top of my Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation. Can you see how flawless but still luminous my skin looks? It looked so beautiful today over the top of that foundation. I used it the other day over the top of the Nars glowy, again, very glowy foundation, and it does slightly take the edge off the glow, but in the most beautiful way. And once it kind of settles into the skin, you do get the glow, like the luminosity coming back through, but in a very flawless way. It's so beautiful, and it really has the perfect amount of color, a gorgeous luminous finish. It sets makeup beautifully, and it doesn't feel heavy on my face. It just feels slightly heavier under the eyes than I would prefer. So this for an all over setting powder, I loved it. It's my favorite one I've ever tried. I also love the packaging. It's so tidy. I absolutely adore the fact that it's so tidy and mess free. So it does come with a little puff. So it does come with a little powder puff that sits in here, which I've taken out because I never use those. But do you see how not a single scrap of powder is in the lid or in here? It's so effective. You just flip this up, and even in here, which is where the powder comes out, there's barely any mess. I love that. It feels and looks luxurious, but it would look a lot less luxurious if there was powder just caked all over, it was flying all over the place. It's so effective. This is the perfect powder packaging for me, and I love this. And I may actually start to set all over more often now that I've discovered this powder. It's beautiful. Next up, Nars gifted me a few of their reformulated blushes this month, and this is my favorite. This is Gina, and unfortunately they did only gift me the matte finishes, which obviously you guys know I am a glowy blush girly, but I will definitely go and pick up some of those glowier finish ones. So this is Gina, which is a more matte finish, and I built that up with a few layers. It's a very subtle, beautiful matte peachy blush, and it very much reminded me of Laura Mercier's Bellini, which is one of my all-time favorites. It's so smooth, very buildable, very subtle, very easy to use, and just the perfect subtle peach blush. Absolutely gorgeous. I do prefer this new packaging. It just feels more solid and substantial, and I love that we've now got the little hole and the refillable pans. That's fantastic. Beautiful blush. This is my favorite shade of the ones that they sent me, and I definitely think it's a little lighter and silkier than their previous formula, but I need to try the shimmer finish. My bracelet just fell right off my hand. But I do need to try the shimmer finishes because I'm much more familiar with those than I was their original matte formula. So watch this space for those. Next up, let's talk about this little YSL quad. This is number 710 of their new shades. They released a few new mini couture clutch palettes, and this is the one that I went for, number 710. It is stunning. I loved Idole, so that was the first one I picked up. That's number 100. This is number 710. As I said in my review of this, this has a little more warmth to it, and it's a little peachier. Also, the second shimmer in this palette is a proper shimmer with some real impact, whereas the Idole palette, it really had like one impactful shimmer and the other shade was more of a satin. I love just the whole colour story in here, the mixture of the shadows and the finishes, and it's just so pretty. The formulas are gorgeous, the packaging is stunning, and as a little quad, this is just all of my dreams come true. It just has everything that I need it to have. You know, a lighter transitional shade, something darker to smoke things up if I want, and a couple of options as far as how much shimmer I want, but the really sparkly shadow in here is just stunning. It's really got a bit of a rose gold tone to it that is so pretty. I absolutely love that quad. I can't get enough. It will be one that I will wear a lot throughout the year, I just know it. Next up, we had a new eyeshadow set from Sonia G this month, and these are the most beautiful brushes I've ever seen in my life. I think it's hard. I think these are my favorite handles she's ever done. They are just stunning, real art, just absolutely glorious. I could just look at them all day. So this is a 4-piece brush set. I did use these in my makeup and movies video, so if you want to see me using these in action, then check that video out. It's such a perfect little companion little set. 4 brushes. They're all more detailed, so they're real perfect addition if you have your sort of everyday workhorse brushes. These are all more precise and have like real niche uses, which I really appreciate. They fill all the gaps from the previous collections that she's done, or the previous sets that she's done. You've got a much more detailed flat brush, a really diddy little, almost like a tiny pencil brush, amazing for like highlighting really precise areas, or if you just have smaller eye shape or hooded eyes, these all are perfect for getting into smaller areas. A really tiny little blending or crease brush, and then a really good dense sort of smudging brush, which I really like for sort of your outer V, or if you are doing a halo eye, perfect. So real great little gap fillers in this set. I think if you want a really comprehensive, does an entire eyeshadow look, I would go with the previous Traditions set, which I absolutely adore. But if you want something more precise, you've got a set already of like everyday brushes. These are beautiful, and they really fill special little job gaps perfectly. Next up, let's talk about the Natasha Denona Golden Collection. I am wearing this eyeshadow palette today, and I've barely worn anything else since it arrived in my home. I love this palette. I have absolutely used every shade in here now, and there are no duds. The formulas are so good, buttery, buildable mattes that blend themselves, stunning shimmers, a lot of very impactful shimmers in here as well. Great color story, you're not missing anything at all. She's got everything from inner corner highlighters to lid shades to sparkles to multiple tones of crease and transition shades and smokier shades. You've got it all, and I love the packaging. It's stunning. The only complaint I've managed to find, the one negative, is that I do find it is quite linear as far as the looks that you come out with. Obviously it's golden, it's going to give you golden looks, you know, hello, silly. But I do find that regardless of what combination of shadows I use from this palette, I essentially end up with this same look, a golden look, you know, because that is what's in there. Does this make any sense to anyone? So what I'm saying is it does this job of being a golden eyeshadow palette immaculately, perfectly. If you're looking for a golden look that is stunning and perfect for summer and has incredible impact and formulas, and you've got a lot of choice as to what you use, and as far as mattes and shimmers, ratio is perfect, you can't go wrong. If you're expecting this to give you a sort of variety of shades that is a different look each time you use it, I don't think it does that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like regardless of the combination, the look I end up with pretty much is the same each time, just depending on, you know, whether I've made it smokier or lighter or more matte or more shimmer. It's essentially this, like a variation on the same look, which is exactly what it's designed to do. I'm just saying, don't expect it to give you like 10 totally different looks to each other. You're going to pretty much end up with like 2 or 3 that are essentially very much in the same ballpark, but it's stunning. I don't know, I can't decide whether this is my new favorite or whether I Need a Nude is still up there. They're very neck and neck. I think this one is more evening, more intense, more metallic, and I Need a Nude is more everyday daytime. They're neck and neck at the moment, okay? We don't have a winner just yet. Watch this space. The highlighter trio, I have a confession to make. I forgot about it. I forgot it existed. I used it in my review when it first arrived, and then I think I used it one time after that. And then, literally as I said it would happen, I put it in the drawer with my palettes, my cheek palettes, not in the drawer with my single highlighters because it doesn't fit there. And I forgot it existed. It came to me making the list of everything I wanted to include in this video, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had that. And that's the danger. You know, when you come up with a palette of highlighters, you can't put them in your makeup bag, or you could, but it would take up a lot of room. And I have, you know, a single highlighter drawer. So when I'm coming to my highlighter for the day and I open that drawer, this isn't in there because it doesn't fit with all of its friends. So it's easily forgotten. You know, it's bigger, it's clunkier to carry around as far as just having a highlighter. And it has a highlighter in here that I'm never going to be able to use because it's too deep for me to use on the skin, on my face. I could use it on my eyes, but on my cheeks it's going to be too dark for a highlighter, so it just got easily forgotten, and I knew this would happen. This is a beautiful highlight. If you watch my review, these 2 pans fell out in transit, and Natasha Denona were very good. They refunded me, no questions asked. I just sent them a photo of it broken when it arrived, but I have super glued them back in so I can still use it and I can still show you guys and talk about it. That middle highlighter is beautiful. It's so light and thin, and it just gives you that gorgeous luminosity that I love. It's so pretty, but I just know, as I have found this month, I won't reach for this very often because I want this one. I want this by itself, but because it's in my palette drawer, I forget it's there as a single highlighter. So I'm gonna have to really make the mental effort to remember it exists and keep trying it a bit more, because it is gorgeous. The color is perfect. The formula is much more what I look for than, say, the Lancome. It's just that gorgeous, softer, smoother luminosity. Stunning. Natasha Denona make amazing highlighters. I wish she'd give us more singles. I do think I prefer the formula in here to her, what is it called? To her Hygiene, is that what it was called? Her single highlighter she released recently. I think I prefer the formula in here. It's a little lighter and thinner, and the packaging, while larger than I wish it was for a highlighter, stunning again. I really love that collection. And next up we have these foundation sticks from Charlotte Tilbury. She also released some new shades of her lip and cheeks. This is the shade Beach Peach Glow. Oh, this is just the perfect shade. I love the packaging of these. They're so diddy. I really like this formula. I've told you guys about it before. I have tried this formula before and it's just beautiful. It's so easy going. This shade in particular is easy like a 3-in-1. It's a bit bronzy, it's got some gorgeous glow, and of course that beautiful pretty peach shade. So you could just do, you know, something like the glow screen or something, really natural tinted moisturizer and a bit of this on the cheeks on holiday, and that would be ideal. I've always liked these. I think these new colors are a great addition because they're just gorgeous, juicy cheeks, exactly what I want from a cream blush, you know, that juicy finish. Love it. The stick foundations, I've been playing with these for weeks now. They came out, or I got them really early on in the month, and I've used them a lot alone as well as mixed in with other products. Again, I use these, I use the foundation stick mixed with the Tom Ford Architecture Soft Matte Foundation in my Makeup and Movies. So if you want to see it applied as a sort of glowy mixer slash primer with a matte foundation combined, that's the video where you can see that in action. For me, as a standalone foundation, I can't see me reaching for this very often just because I like a bit more coverage. It's very sheer, it's a sheer to light amount of coverage, and I do typically want a bit more than that. As far as the foundation, I love a medium coverage. That's kind of my sweet spot. I love a medium coverage foundation where it evens up my skin tone beautifully, but you can still see skin and it still has a bit of a natural texture to it. This is nowhere near approaching medium. It's a sheer to light at maximum. So it takes a bit of the edge off, discoloration, redness, things like that, and it evens up a little, but not as much as I typically want for an everyday foundation. So for me, how I've been liking to use this is as a sort of glowy primer. I will use this all over the skin as like a light layer, and then I'll go in with a very small amount of a more matte foundation, so I get a bit more coverage from the foundation, but the glow shows through from this stick, and that's how I've been enjoying that. And that is how I use the Hollywood Flawless filter, in exactly the same way, and the Dior Star filter. Those are very similar products, but I think I prefer a liquid for that job over a stick. I think it's just easier. You have the option to mix rather than apply this and then apply a foundation. With the stick, it just doesn't work as well, in my opinion, as a liquid when it comes to you wanting a bit of a glow boosting product. I also don't love this on its own as much as I do something like the Dior Star filter or the Chanel Water Fresh tint, because again, those have just a slight bit more coverage to them, and then they're not as metallic of a finish as this. So I think they look a little more natural. If I'm going, you know, no makeup, this doesn't look like no makeup on your skin because it is so glowy. It definitely looks like you've got something on your skin, whereas like the Chanel Water Fresh tint, or maybe the Chantecaille Anti-Aging, or the Lisa Eldridge skin tint does look like skin. This doesn't look like skin, it does look like glow. So I don't know that I'll get a huge amount of use out of it. How I like it best is mixed with more matte foundations. That's how I will get some use out of these sticks, but I wouldn't use it alone. It's just, it doesn't give me enough coverage. And when I do want something with a very light coverage, it's a little more glowy than what I want for that specific look. So these weren't a miss necessarily. They're just not something that is the way that I do makeup. It doesn't really fit into my routine, just the way that I prefer to do my makeup. I feel like it's very much a sort of product that is for a certain person, like someone who likes really light, natural amount of coverage, but a lot of glow. And I just want more coverage, you know? I can't be that girl. I'm so sad about it. If this had had like a medium coverage or a full coverage, I feel like it would have been my holy grail, a new holy grail, but I need a bit more, you know? My skin is just not that flawless. And for the couple of lip formulas that graced me with their presence in the month of June, first up, these new Lisa Eldridge Balm Embraces. Oh, I absolutely adore these. I spoke about these in my standout lip formulas video. They are so buttery. The finish is exactly perfect what I want for these types of formulas. So smooth and hydrating and buttery. They are delightful. I love the colors. I want 10 more colors, please. I like the packaging and they just are so hydrating on the lips. I absolutely love them. Another very similar formula actually from Lancome. These are the Lip Idole Butterglow. I do prefer the finish of the Lisa Eldridge ones slightly, and these are much more fragrance. So Lisa Eldridge does not have a scent. I can't smell or taste anything when I use these, whereas the Lancome have a really strong mint humbug fragrance, which I've had to explain now 3 times to the Americans who had no idea what I was talking about in my previous video. I'm so sad that you don't have mint humbugs. I'm so sorry about that. But a mint humbug is a hard shelled mint that you suck for approximately 14 hours, and eventually in the middle it has a toffee. That's what this smells like. Exactly that. It's delightful. But these do have a lot more colour than the Lisa Eldridge. The Lisa Eldridge, I would say, this is Sweet Fig that I'm wearing today, are more of a sort of classic balm amount of colour. So very easygoing, very lightweight, very balmy and quite sheer, still stunning high shine. The Lancome are not quite as jelly-like in the finish and they have more colour off the bat. So they are slightly different, just depends what you look for. I just prefer the Lisa Eldridge because of that stunning finish, but the Lancome are also delightful. It's just going to come down to your personal preference. Do you want to smell mint humbug or do you want a more jelly finish? I go for the jelly finish, but we're all very different, you know? It's what makes life delightful. So there you have it. That is all of the newness that I tried throughout the month of June. Please let me know what you tried. What was your #1 favorite new product in the month of June? Please let me know in the comment section down below. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.